Good evening, I am Iprla Gising Lama and these are the headlines of the hour. Opposition slams government's policies and programs. CPN Maoist Center calls for revisions as Chair Dahal alleges loss of mandate. Nepali Congress also expresses discontent and reservations. Slow pace of government development restricts capital expenditure to 32% in 10 months. Government vows to revise framework as inefficiency in budget execution persists. Israel approves gradual expansion of the offensive against Hamas. Military orders to call up reservists to enhance operations in Gaza. And Cannes lifts Mohammed Adil Alam's ban after completing disciplinary procedures. ICC clears Adil to play nationally and internationally following spot fixing investigation. Welcome back. Discussions on the government's policies and programs, which are intended to guide the government's work and budget for the upcoming year, began in the federal parliament today. The main opposition party, CPN Maoist Center, has raised questions about the policies and programs, demanding revisions. CPN Maoist Center Chair Pushpa Kamal Dahal argued that the policies and programs which have failed to satisfy even the government's own lawmakers cannot address the people's aspirations and called for amendments. He also alleged the government of neglecting marginalized communities.
Immediately after Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli proposed a discussion on the policies and programs for the upcoming fiscal year in the House of Representatives, opposition leader Pushpa Kamal Dahal made sharp criticisms. Dahal demanded revisions, stating that the government's policies and programs cannot address the country's economic development and public expectations. The opposition party accused the government of deviating from its goals of good governance, prosperity and social justice, and of failing to move forward on the path of progress. The opposition also questioned for whom the policies and programs were designed, given their neglect of development, good governance and marginalized communities. Expressing dissatisfaction with the removal of the pre-budget discussions, Chairperson Dahal claimed that the policies and programs have failed to generate enthusiasm even within the ruling party.
सत्तासीन सांसदहरुमा नै नीति तथा कार्यक्रम प्रति आशा र उत्साह पैदा हुन सक्दैन भने आम जनताका लागि यसले सन्तुष्टि दिने कुरा त ठाउँै देखिएको छैन। छलफलमा नजाँदै देखिएका यी परिदृश्यहरू यो नीति तथा कार्यक्रम कस्तो र कसका लागि आएछ भन्ने अनुमान लगाउन सकिन्छ भन्ने मेरो विश्वास छ।
Dahal accused the government of ignoring the landless and attempting to address land mafias through legislation. He stated that the government, driven by the arrogance of its two-thirds majority, has failed to introduce people-oriented programs.
महिना दिन बितिसक्दा पनि एउटा गभर्नर नियुक्ति गर्न सक्नु भएको छैन तपाईहरुले। 2/3 को चाहिँ अहंकार त अब मैले हेर्दा त त्यो बेलुन फुटिसकेको देख्छु। हरेक नियुक्ति र निर्णयमा स्वार्थ समूह नै हाबी छन्।
During the discussion on the policies and programs, Dahal also raised other political issues. He claimed that his long-standing assertion that the government is favoring vested interests has been validated by the statements of those within the political mechanism itself. Linking the issue of division and manipulation in every appointment, he questioned why the appointment of the Nepal Rashtra Bank governor has not been made, accusing the government of failing to deliver on development and good governance for 10 months. He commented that despite having nearly a two-thirds majority in numbers, the government has lost the people's trust.
प्राविधिक रूपमा त सरकार अहिले ढलेको छैन, तर साँच्चै जनताको मनमा म अहिले देशभरि घुमेर पनि आएको छु, अझ मुख्यतः तराई मधेसमा जनताको मन मस्तिष्कमा यति बेला नैतिक रूपले भन्ने हो भने सरकार छैन, सरकार ढलिसकेको छ।
The main concern of the major opposition party appears to be the government's removal of good programs introduced by previous governments. They suggested that the current presentation of the policies and programs fails to inspire any sector. Therefore, they recommended restructuring the policies and programs to align with public expectations, ensuring inclusivity, production-orientedness, and people-centeredness, and coordinating it with the budget.
In the parliamentary discussion on the government's newly announced policies and programs, ruling party lawmakers expressed support while opposition parties registered strong objections and proposed amendments. Lawmakers from the ruling Nepali Congress also voiced criticism of several aspects of the plan. Nepali Congress lawmakers emphasized the need for a disciplined and implementation-oriented state structure, warning that populist approaches hinder effective resource utilization and prevent plans from reaching target groups.
अनुशासन सुनिश्चित हुनुपर्छ। हामी पपुलिस्ट ज्यादा भएको छौं, लोकप्रियवादको शिकार भएको छौं। हामी जुन समूह हाम्रो अगाडि पर्छ त्यसका सारा कुरा समाधान गर्दिन्छु भन्छौं। ती सम्पूर्ण समस्या समाधान गर्न हामीसँग कति स्रोत छ, कति साधन छ, त्यो हामीले ख्याल गर्दैनौं अनि हाम्रो विश्वसनीयता घटेको छ। त्यसै कारणले घटेको छ।
Opposition lawmakers criticized the policy and programs for overlooking good governance, development momentum and timely planning, further alleging that it lacks initiatives benefiting women, marginalized communities and low-income citizens.
एकदम छिटो परिवर्तन हुने टेक्नोलोजीलाई सम्बोधन गर्नुपर्ने बेलामा 2/3 को बलियो सरकारले निकै फितलो, निकै कमजोर नीति तथा कार्यक्रम ल्याएको छ। अब त यो जेनेरेसन अफ पोलिटिशियन्स के हामी सदनमा जति छौं ले रिइलेक्सनको मोह त्यागेर बोल्ड निर्णय गर्नुपर्ने बेला हो, तर त्यो अवसर यसपालि चाहिँ नि सरकारले गुमाएको छ।
तराईको लागि जुन ठूलो एउटा क्यान्सरको रूपमा आइरहेको दाइजो प्रथाको विरुद्धमा यसले एक शब्द बोलेको छैन। यो महिलाहरूको विरुद्धको सरकार हो भन्ने कुरा यसले प्रमाणित गर्छ। अर्को कुरा, किशोरीहरू बलात्कृत हुन्छन्, तिनीहरूको लागि पनि कुनै कुराहरू यसमा समावेशहरू गरिएको छैन।
कार्यान्वयन गर्नु नपर्ने तर लोक रिजाइको लागि ती नीति र कार्यक्रमलाई दोहोर्याइरहनु पर्ने सरकारी रवैयाको कारण यो पटकको नीति र कार्यक्रमको कार्यान्वयनमा आम नेपाली जनताले संसदको शंका गर्नु स्वाभाविक नै छ।
संसद सदस्य बाहेक राष्ट्रपति अनुकूल सानो मन्त्रीमण्डल गठन गर्ने किन आएन? गिरिबन्धु चिया बगानको 70 बिघाको बारे संसदीय छानबिन समिति गठन गर्ने किन आएन? र साथसाथै सम्भावना नभएका र त्रुटिपूर्ण परियोजना हटाएर पुग्छ र सम्बन्धित अधिकारीहरूले यो किन समावेश गरियो त्यसबारे छानबिन हुनुपर्छ। पोखरा र भैरव अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय विमानस्थल निर्माणमा अरबौं रुपैयाँ भ्रष्टाचार गर्नेहरूलाई कारबाही हुने बाचा किन आएन?
It is time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at yesterday's poll. Yesterday we had asked you, what explains the main ruling coalition Nepali Congress's dissatisfaction with the government's policies and programs? 26% voted for A, result of ideological differences. 38% voted for B, UML's unilateralism. And 36% voted for C, Congress seeking too much of a share. Now here's today's question. What do you think of the parliamentary discussions on government policies and programs? Your options are A, traditional, B, creative, or C, implementation-oriented. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option, A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, the coalition government formed by the Nepali Congress and CPN-UML has made little headway in development progress. As the fiscal year nears its end, less than 1/3 of the development budget has been utilized, with a large share spent on loan repayments rather than actual development works.
Last Friday, while unveiling the policy and program for fiscal year 2082-83, the government announced plans to revise the development framework. Over the past 4 years, development expenditure has failed to exceed 65%, prompting the need for reform. Despite the ruling coalition's budget implementation, since mid-July, only 31.9% of the current year's development budget has been utilized. Of the 352 billion Nepali rupees allocated, just 112 billion has been spent in 10 months, 40 billion of which covers last year's dues. This reflects continued inefficiency in development spending compared to 34% utilization during the same period last year.
कतिपय अवस्थामा चाहिँ प्रोजेक्ट पछि विभिन्न कारणहरू छन् भने कतिपय अवस्थामा बजेटहरू नै कतिपय ठाउँमा चाहिँ रकमान्तर गरेर भुक्तानी गर्नुपर्ने हैन, जहाँ केही ठाउँमा बढी खर्च भने केही ठाउँमा कम खर्च भने अनि कम खर्च भएको ठाउँबाट पैसा बढी खर्च भएको ठाउँमा अथवा बढी चाहिएको ठाउँमा लानुपर्ने, त्यसको लागि रकमान्तर गर्नुपर्ने, अर्थ मन्त्रालयसम्म पुग्नुपर्ने। त्यो भुक्तानीको प्रक्रियामै भएको कारणले गर्दा पनि त्यो अर्थ मन्त्रालयबाट रकमान्तर भइसकेपछि त्यसपछि मात्रै फेरि भुक्तानी हुने कारणले गर्दा भुक्तानीको प्रक्रियामा पनि केही समय लाग्ने कारणले गर्दा पनि ठ्याक्कै त्यो ट्वाक्कै भनौँ न कम्प्युटरमा चाहिँ अलिकति कम देखिएको होला।
The government has struggled not only to increase development expenditure, but also to operate completed projects. As a result, public debt is rising, with more spent on debt servicing than on development. By 4th of May of this fiscal year, 264 billion Nepali rupees had been paid in principal and interest, up from 174 billion in the same period last year. Politically influenced budget allocations favor unprepared projects, while ongoing ones face funding shortages. Weak project administration and contractor negligence have further hindered effective development spending.
त्यो 2/3 को सरकार आफैमा व्यवस्था पनि हामीले चाहेको व्यवस्था हुँदै पनि 100 रुपैयाँ बराबरको विकास खर्च गर्छु भनेकोमा 31 रुपैयाँ मात्रै खर्च गर्न सक्नु भनेको यो असाध्य निन्दनीय नै हो। यो चाहिँ अब निन्दनीय भनेर कुनै एउटा पोलिटिकल पार्टी एउटा नेता अथवा एउटा क्याबिनेटलाई गाली गरेर मात्रै हुनेवाला छैन। जुन प्रकारले बजेट बनाउँछौँ, जसरी विनियोजन गर्छौँ, जसरी निकासा गर्छौँ र जसरी सार्वजनिक खरिद अन्तर्गत ठेक्कापट्टा लगाउँछौँ र अनि यसको अडिट गर्दै कम्प्लिट काम गर्छौँ, त्यो तौर तरिकामा कहीँ न कहीँ गम्भीर त्रुटि छ।
While government revenue has improved slightly compared to last year, rising from 788 billion Nepali rupees to 879 billion Nepali rupees by 4th of May, development spending remains weak. Despite this revenue growth, the government has not effectively utilized the development budget. Increased expenditure could help address the current economic slowdown. With a shift in the development paradigm now announced, whether the upcoming budget aligns spending with this new approach remains to be seen.
In our Public Voice segment, we have asked in several provinces, why has the government's development expenditure not even reached 1/3 after 10 months of progress? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
जनप्रतिनिधिहरू हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँहरूले पनि यो काममा अलि तराबता नदेखाउने, आफ्ना अरू काममा लाग्ने यी कारणहरूले गर्दा
हामी अस्थिरता बन्ने, पार्टी गठन पुनर्गठन सरकार परिवर्तनका कुराहरू भइरहने,
काम गर्ने चाहिँ थोरै भयो, देखाउने कुरा धेरै भएर त्यो काम अहिलेसम्म जति गर्ने कुरा काम काहीँ पनि भएको छैन।
नेताहरूको भनाइ ठुला हुन्छन्, काम चाहिँ सानो छ, गराइ नै छैन र जनताहरूले दुःख पाइरहेका छन्।
कार्यक्रम राम्रो ल्याउने तर कार्यान्वयनको पक्ष एकदमै हामी चुकिरहँदाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा विकास निर्माण लगायत धेरै कुरामा चाहिँ हामी चुकिराखेको अवस्था छ।
काम गर्ने नीति नै बनेन, नीति नै नबने कन त्यो खर्च कसरी विकासमा जान्छ?
जुन स्तरमा खर्च हुनुपर्ने हो अब त्यो चाहिँ भइराखेको देखिएको छैन। त्यही भएर चाहिँ बजेट अब यसपालि पनि फ्रिजै होला जस्तो देखिन आएको छ।
10 महिनासम्म प्रदेशको बजेटै खर्च नहुन भनेको चाहिँ नेपालीहरूको लागि त दुःखको कुरा हो, दुर्भाग्य पनि हो।
आषाढ महिनामा मात्रै सबै बजेट सिद्ध्याउने, कनिका छरे जस्तै गर्ने, अनि विकास हुनै नहुने भए पनि त्यो झारा टार्ने काम जस्तो भएकोले
यो सरकारको पुरानै रोग हो। यसलाई के सुधार हुन्छ कि भनेर जनताले आशा गरेका थिए। 2/3 सरकारले पनि यो सुधार गर्न सकेन।
आफ्नो मात्र कुम्लो भर्ने मात्र भयो, यहाँ नेताहरू गर्ने कोही पनि भएन, विकासपट्टि कोही पनि लागेन।
सरकारकै कमजोरी हो। सरकारको ध्यानै अहिले विकासतिर लागेको छैन। भ्रष्टाचारी कसरी जोगाउने, आफन्तहरूलाई कसरी भरण पोषण गर्नेतिर लागेको छ।
It is time now for a short break. We have more news coming up.
Sports news.
Welcome back. The ban on Mohammad Adil Alam, previously accused of spot fixing, has been formally lifted as announced today by the Cricket Association of Nepal, CAN. Mohammad Adil Alam was investigated by the ICC's anti-corruption unit after bowling a suspicious no-ball during a Nepal T20 League match organized by CAN 2 years ago. A Nepal police investigation in January 2023 confirmed that Adil accepted offers to bowl a no-ball and a wide during a match for Janakpur Royals against Kathmandu Knights on 27 December 2022. The investigation also found Andrew McCarthy of Biratnagar Kings involved in fixing. Consequently, Adil was banned from national and international matches. Following a review by Cannes disciplinary committee and a formal request to the ICC, his ban was lifted on 4th of May, allowing him to resume playing. During his suspension, Adil participated in matches without clearance from local cricket boards in Nepal and India. Meanwhile, 3 other players who reported fixing attempts to the ICC faced no disciplinary action. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.